guys, this is Josh from the Hobby Bug, and today we're going to be going over a Hobby Bug product. This is our product, the Hobby Bug's Tamiya TT02 bolt-through steering kit. If you have been running a Tamiya TT02 for a while like we have, you will probably have found that the shoulder screws that come in your steering back out after a couple runs. And then you have to start tightening them up about each run, and a lot of times they will come out while you're driving, and that's no fun because then your car is going to be steering into the pipe or a curb at a parking lot or something. So we have came up with a kit to fix that problem. I know Tamiya offers the low friction step screws, which is kind of supposed to solve that problem and give you a little bit better steering. But every one of those we've seen ran out here on our track has actually, the threads have broken off inside of the chassis, and you either have to drill them out or you have to get a whole new chassis pan and swap everything over, which is kind of a pain. We've also seen that happen with the Tamiya racing steering when they send you the little grub screws that you screw down into the chassis there, and then you actually put the barrels over top of them that your steering arms swivel on. Those grub screws, I've seen those snap right in half, and having to deal with that is not fun, especially on race day. So we have come up with this kit. We took a lot of time and found what sizes we actually needed in our screws and the flange tubes that we're putting in there. And so we've got this for everybody to use now. I'm going to go ahead and show you what we've got here is two screws, 2 flange tubes, and 2 locking nuts. That's the only thing that comes in this kit. That's all you really need to do that. And also the tools you will need is a Phillips head screwdriver and a 2.5mm hex driver. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the top off of this car here, and I'm going to zoom in and show you guys how to install our bolt-through steering kit. Alright guys, I've already done the side closest to me to shorten things up a little bit, and now I'll go ahead and do the other side so you can see that one, and then you just do the same thing on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm going to go to the screw right in the center of the steering arm here, and I'm going to take that shoulder screw that came in it out. I usually like to leave the washer that comes with the kit that you put underneath the arm on there. It just helps keep it move pretty freely, so I like to keep that in place. Then you take your 2.5mm hex driver, and you want to go ahead and get that ready, and take your flange tube, a little kind of a brass looking flange tube, and you actually just slide that down into the steering arm. Some of them are a little bit harder to push in. That one was pretty easy. Then you want to take your screw and go ahead and start running it in. You don't want to run it all the way through because you don't want the threads coming through the hole in the bottom, so you can get the nut in there. Alright guys, the next thing you want to do is flip it over, and I'm sure you have seen the 2 holes here in the bottom of your TT02 chassis. They both have a molded space for them in there for one of these tiny lock nuts. So you want to go ahead and put that lock nut in there. It may take a couple tries to get it in there perfect, but just be patient and work with it, and you can get it in there. Let's see. You may have to take your screwdriver and get it pushed in a little bit more. That looks pretty good there. There we go, it kind of popped in right there. The next thing you want to do here is you want to flip it back over kind of sideways, and you can actually take a Phillips head screwdriver and push it in on the back side of this lock nut on the bottom of your chassis, and then take your hex driver and just go ahead and screw that into the lock nut down there. That way your lock nut doesn't push out and it stays down in the molds. And what I like to do is just kind of run it in tight, not overly tight but pretty snug, and then I like to back it out just a hair. You want to set this where you don't have a ton of play up and down, so that one needs to be tightened in a little bit more. There we go. Like I say, you don't want a ton of play up and down, but you want it to be able to swivel freely. And that looks pretty good right there. That is our bolt through steering kit. You can see that in there. We have these hex head screws in the center, and we also have, let's see, getting the light, a threaded or a lock nut down here on the bottom threaded through. That is a simple modification. I'll put the top back on and we'll get to the end of the video. Alright guys, that is our bolt through steering kit. They are on our website right now for $5, and that is probably one of the best $5 you could spend on the TT02 chassis. These are pretty awesome. We love the TT02s. They do have a couple little hiccups, and you can fix those pretty easily, and that's one of the fixes you can do. If you have the racing steering set, you do not have to use the flange tubes. All you have to do is thread it all the way through the barrels that the steering arms swivel on, and then just run that down through. But you still use the same screws and the same lock nut. So like I say, that is $5 on our website right now. There is a link in the description to that part on our website. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Go check us out on Instagram at the Hobbybug RC. Check us out on Facebook at the Hobbybug, and check us out on our website and our eBay store. And just get bit by the Hobbybug, guys.